show at Richter. We've got a lot of compliments on this show so far, and I'm so glad because we had a lot of mishaps. And it was a bumpy road to getting here, but we're glad we're finally here. And now we'd like to get on with the awards, and then we can have some refreshments in the dining room. So, to start with, we'd like to pay tribute to the students. And every year we get more and more students showing up in our shows. And we're so glad we had quite a few from Danbury High School. When we first started, we didn't get too many, and now we do. So we're very grateful for them, because after all, this is Danbury. Okay, but we do like to see them come from all the surrounding areas. So thank you for coming. Hope you enjoy. And we'll think about the next one in a few days. So on with the student awards.
But it is my great pleasure to award the student prizes to Alana Smith, Student Honorable Mention. Alana Smith. To Lindsay Bieber, Student Third Place. Student second place. And finally, student first place, Alexa Tannenbaum.
We'll save them. Now for watercolor, second place, Aline LaPointe. Watercolor first place, Bob Doyle, and unfortunately he's not here today. We didn't award any more in watercolor. There were very few entries, and so that's what the judges, we left it up to them. We have to go with a certain amount of entries in each category depending on how many there are and how many awards will be handed out. And so next.
The graphics, mixed media, photography, and pastel. Third place goes to Matt Perkin. And second place in graphics, mixed media, photography, and pastel is to Christopher Rogers.
He couldn't be here, but he sends his regrets and his thanks.
Thank you.
First place in that category goes to Suzanne Marson. Congratulations. Okay, and that's it for that category.
Yes. Now we get on to the oils and acrylics. Okay. And to honor Ben De Silva and Millie Siegel, who were both very good friends and longtime members of Richter Arts, we are dedicating this show. Ben's widow, Jean, is here today to say a few words, and she will hand out the awards. All of them?
Evelyn's going to for me.
She'll hand them out in honor of Ben.
It's very appropriate that the show be devoted to Millie and Ben. They were very good friends for many, many years. They worked together on the Cultural Commission for over 40 years. Ben was chairman and Millie was executive secretary, and they just made a great team. He loved her and she loved him. Ben, I'd like to, my son is here today, one of my sons. He just flew in from California. Now, this is just a coincidence. He was planning to visit with me now, and we were going to go straight to Cape Cod to visit his brother, but when I told him about the show, he offered to come here from Hartford so we could be at the show, and then we're going to go to Cape Cod. Thomas is so Dennis is a podiatrist slash surgeon, and he works in California. He's also a very accomplished musician. He plays in the World Doctor Symphony. He's been all over the world, and he's following in his father's footsteps, promoting the arts. When I retired, I decided to take up painting again, and I registered for the art class at the Danbury Senior Center. And at the time, and still, Adele Moros was my teacher. Ben encouraged me in this project. He would always critique my paintings, good and bad, and when the paintings were finished, he would frame them, he would wire them to hang, and we'd come here and enter the shows. And he was the most encouraging person for me, and he was the best agent I could ever have. The awards today in the oil and acrylic are being made especially in Ben's memory, and I'll turn this over now to Arlene for the awards.
Okay, for honorable mention in the oils and acrylics category, the winner is Shauna Lee W. Kwashnek. The third place goes to Steve Tannenbaum, and I don't believe he is here either. He's on vacation
Other
or
commitments,
something.
yes.
Right. Okay, second place in oils and acrylics goes to Michelle Refrano, and I don't see her. First place in oils and acrylics goes to Betty Ann Medeiros. Congratulations. Okay.
And now for last, we have the Best in Show Award. And in honor of Millie Siegel, her son is here to present the award in her name.
Hi.
So if you'd like to say a few words.
Sure. Mrs. Silva said it best, but I think the only thing I'd like to say, just to dovetail on what she said, is that Millie and Ben's spirit of community and their deep, deep love for the arts and culture, not just here, but throughout the area, is something that's very inspiring. And I guess in their honor, I would like to say, please tell all your friends about the condition of this wonderful establishment and try to get the consciousness out there so that the money that's being held to refurbish this building will actually be used to refurbish this building. I'm sure Millie would want me to say that. And the grand prize winner for Best in Show is Linda Pickwick. Astromeris. So like the Astromeris, which is cheap to buy and lasts forever, may the Richter Association for the Arts flourish. Thanks so much.
And so, I guess that's about it. Went fast. We can go to the dining room and have something to eat and drink. And